Hey everyone, it's Mary here with more of Midlife Journal. So it's Sunday. It's time to slow down, time to take care of yourself, get ready for the week, get everything in order, and ready to take you on full out. Like, let's play full out this week. This is the last Sunday in July. We've got what, 5 more months left of 2023. Now, let me tell you, for me, 2023 has not been great. Had some health challenges the first of the year and kind of just lost my mojo come March and April, feeling kind of funky. So if that's you, then I'm glad that you're here on the Midlife Journal. So grab your pen, your pencil, get out a candle, put on some soothing music, and grab your journal for a discussion about embracing change. You know, I've talked about change before. It's something that is inevitable. It's going to happen. Every day is actually a new day for us. We don't often think about it in that way, right? We just go through the motions. You get out of bed, you put your feet on the floor, and there you are. You're like in your day. But what if you were able to think about it as putting your feet on the floor and going, okay, like this is a new day. It's a new me. I'm not the same person that I was yesterday. If you take a look at even, like the things that you did the day before, like yesterday, for instance, for me, I made a new recipe. So, you know, it didn't look like the picture of the recipe that I was following, but dang, those raspberry scones were delicious. So, and I shared them with my neighbor next door who I hadn't met yet. So that was something that I did different. Like just had a conversation with somebody that I didn't know if they were going to speak English or Polish. So, it's like recognize these things that you do, these little tiny increments of growth that we have throughout our day, because we've got to embrace change, find our inner strength, and grow into this new version of ourselves every single day. So when we think about change, a lot of times, if I actually think about change, then I get uncomfortable or maybe apprehensive, kind of like, oh, turn my head and go, oh, maybe I can do that another day. Or, gee, maybe I should go garden right now. Or maybe, don't I need to go clean the house or clean the toilet? Like I can think of a million reasons why not to do something different. So if we are to embrace change, then how can we stop this mind chatter that we've got going on? I've got in the comments below, once I'm off this live, then in the comments below, I'll put a sheet that I use. Like, how do I stop? How do I notice where these thoughts are coming from? Like, go clean the toilet instead of do what I said I was going to do, or do something different. How can I stop this inner chatter and actually create a new thought, create a new thought of uh, thinking about embracing change and what that outcome would look like if I did embrace change. Even if I'm going to fall, even if I'm going to fall forward, as I say, because I don't believe we ever fall back. We fail or fall forward because we've tried something new, and there's a lesson in there for us, good, bad, right, or wrong, sometimes ugly, but nonetheless, it's still a lesson. So grab your pen, take out your journal, and think about, when was there a last time can you go back to think of a last time where you actually did embrace change, where you were looking forward to doing something different? And if you can't like think of that, if that nothing comes to your mind, then think of something that you want to call forward in your life, something that you want to be different about your life, and imagine what a successful outcome would look like. But not only what it would look like, because you gotta when we're looking at change, well, when you're doing anything, right, you gotta look at you as a whole person. I talk about this a lot in the workshops that I do, especially my vision board workshop. I have to look at the whole person, the whole me. So I can't just imagine what I want for a different outcome. I have to add into that what that not only looks like, what that change module or that change of attitude or that change of place I'm living, my relationship, whatever that change is that I'm wanting to happen, is I can't only look at the visual side of that. I also have to look at the feeling side of it. So what if I'm to look at what a successful outcome is for whatever I want to attract, then what does it look like? What does that feel like? Because if I have changed in some way, if I have done something different, there's a different way that I'm being. Otherwise, that change wouldn't have happened. So, what happened to me? Like, what was that change in me? Can I feel it? Can I recognize that in my body someplace? Because normally, under, uh, if we're present in our life, then we've got this body reactions going on to the stuff that we're doing. If we're doing stuff that we know is not in alignment with ourselves, then we'll feel that upset stomach, pain in our shoulders. For me, it's my low back. But if we're doing something, excuse me, that's exciting, that we're looking forward to, that can be scary, but we want to take this step, then that's a whole different feeling. Where does that show up? So if I'm looking at this, what the image is of the change that I want to embrace, then what is the feeling that goes along with that? And then is to describe how I have become different, because you want to notice. You want to notice, like you might run to the mirror, for instance. I love my mirror. I use my mirror a lot when I'm feeling both down, when I'm having a bad day and I'm having a pity party, for instance, or when I'm feeling great, because I want to see how that shows up in my face. I want to see how it shows up in how I'm standing, how I'm holding myself. So when we're talking about change, we have to look at that whole picture and finding that inner strength to call ourselves forward, to invite that new something, that new way of being. And then You might also think of change as, if I knew I would succeed, would I do it? If I knew I would succeed, would I do it? And I've talked about this before in the midlife journals. Like, if I knew I would succeed, would I do it? Would I embrace that change? Because a lot of times, even though we know we will succeed at something, the thoughts of, I don't deserve this, it's almost too good to be true. I think I'm afraid of losing it once I get it, once I gain it, once I have this outcome that I want, this change that I want. I know that that's happened to me in previously in my past when I wanted a job, this job that I wanted really bad. I had made up all kinds of stuff about how fabulous it was going to be. And I was really excited about it, but there were things there were red flags that were there that I didn't pay attention to because I wasn't looking at the whole me. I wasn't looking at who I was going to become. I wasn't looking at what those relationships were that were going to come along with this change. So when we're embracing change or calling something forth in our lives, we want something different. It's taking a look at all aspects of that so that you can also take a look at the bumps in the road, the obstacles, where you're going to get stuck, because it's not going to be a straight line. We can embrace change, absolutely, fulfilled, like excited, step into it, want it, go after it, run towards it. But somewhere along the line, our shoelace is going to get loosened and we're going to trip over it. So if we notice those areas ahead of time and know that there's a lesson for us to learn there, maybe we let our ego get in the way. Maybe we weren't being the person that we really set out to be. Maybe we were trying to be somebody for somebody else instead of for ourselves. We were stepping into something because somebody, think of when you were a teenager and maybe your parents were saying, oh, I think that you're going to be a doctor when you grow up, or you're going to be a TV host when you grow up. And in your mind, you're thinking, no, but you walk down that path and you end up in school and all of a sudden you feel like you've lost yourself. I see a lot of that in my clients now that are in their 50s and 60s, where they have gone their whole career and now they're like, oh my gosh, here I am transitioning out of my professional life, transitioning into this next chapter of life. And now I'm so confused. I don't even know what to do or where to start because I've lost this piece of me. So as you embrace change, make sure that it's the change that you want and not the change that somebody else is suggesting for you. And that comes with journaling. That comes with taking the time to get quiet, to pour out your heart. There's a great quote There's a great quote that I read the other day, and I loved this. It came from the book called The Tiger's Wife. I have not read this book, but I think the quote is spot on. Where when we're talking about embracing change, is your heart a sponge or a fist? I think that's a great visual. Is your heart a sponge? Are you open? Are you available for change? Are you ready for it? Or are you scared? Are you judgmental? Are you critical? Those have two very different feelings, right? So you might want to write down that quote. Is your heart a sponge or a fist? And it comes from the book, The Tiger's Wife. So when I'm talking about embracing change, what is it about your life, your current life now, that you want different? What will make your heart sing and doing something different, being someplace different, with someone different, you being different? Maybe embracing change for you might be, I want to be more confident. I want to believe in myself. I want to love myself. I want to put me first. When was the last time that you've done any of those things? Change doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be like this hairy, scary goal. Change can be these small increments of noticing where you've been, because you've been through some shit. I'll guarantee that. We all have. We've all had hard, painful moments, but you're here now. You made it. You were a different person then. What kind of change have you gone through from that moment, that hurtful, damaging, heartbreaking event happened? How have you grown? How have you become different? And did you do that change with a heart as a sponge, or heart as a fist? And if it was a fist, like you pushed through the pain, you pushed through life to get to where you are, how can you allow your heart now to become a sponge? How can you now open up and trust that you are in the right place? You are deserving. You are worth it. How can that all unfold for you? What is it that you need to leave behind in order to embrace change? Because if we're going to change, which we evolve every single day, but if we're going to change in order to gain something that we want, even if it's a way of being, there's a piece of us that we have to leave behind. There's a thought pattern we have to leave behind. There's a a way of reacting that we need to leave behind. What might that be for you? And you might put that down in the comments below once this is all over. Like what is it? What's that little piece of you that if you were a pie and you needed to cut out a piece of pie and like scoop it out and put it on the counter and be like, all right, that's it. I'm done with you. What would that be for you? And how can you then close that circle of the pie and embrace this wholeness, this beauty, this amazing person that you have become, that you are ready for, that you will unfold into with ease and grace? I hope this helped. I hope you will continue on your midlife journal path so that you can evolve and grow into this wonderful human being that I know that you are. You know, there's some things you just have a feeling about. That's one thing I have a feeling about. If you're here, if you're watching this message is meant for you. I'll see you next week back here for more of Midlife Journaling, where, we'll unfold into some kind of what our next transition is, what our next life is going to be about, what is new for us, what's our FFT, what are we going to do for the fucking first time? Where can you grow into this fabulous human being that I know that you are? Mary Foster, it's nice to see you here. I'm so glad, calling in from Arkansas. Ciao for now.